Hi, my name is Akankshya Upadhyay and I am your English instructor. In today's class, we will solve the writing exercise of Unit 3, which is reporting questions. Let's begin. Let's begin by reading the essay given in our exercise. So the title is Relevance of Involving School Graduates in Community Services. Socialization of the teenager is believed to be a difficult part in the modern society. On the one hand, modern technology like the internet has virtually linked the whole world. On the other hand, it has created physical gap among people. Having considered the issue, in some countries, school students are provided with an opportunity to serve their community. In my opinion, sending school graduates to work in community services is a good idea to minimize the physical gap between people, and it equips them with valuable life skills. As we know, life skills are very important to a person as they develop social, interpersonal, intellectual, and emotional skills. A person learns the way people communicate, negotiate, and cooperate to solve a common problem in their community. Therefore, if a person is sent to a community for service, he or she learns practical ways of dealing with social problems and their consequences. In addition, critical thinking of self-evaluation skills can also be developed. Furthermore, working in the community helps people to develop good social skills. Nowadays, school graduates are spending their after-school time watching television, playing video games, browsing the internet, chatting on Facebook, etc. The lack of productive activities might create social problems. Providing young people with compulsory voluntary works as their after-school program, on the one hand engages teenagers and on the other hand minimizes the possibility of suffering from drug abuse. It also strengthens their social relationship. Ability to establish strong social relationships also increase their employability as they learn soft skills that are compulsory for any person to work in a team. Working in a community voluntarily not only strengthens their CV, but also teaches them that it is not easy to make money. This leads them to think twice before spending their money. Thus, they learn to save money from such works. In conclusion, I think compulsory voluntary community work after school education not only helps the individual student for his or her all-round development, but also supports every community by producing employable and charitable human resources. Therefore, I would like to suggest the concerned authority to put such programs into action as soon as possible. So this is an essay which can be helpful to all of us, especially after we're done with our exams, and the essay mainly focuses on describing the importance of school graduates in community services. Now we shall go through the questions and try to solve them. The first one is, how many paragraphs are there? The answer is pretty simple. We just need to count it, and we find that there are 5 paragraphs. What is the first paragraph about? So in the first paragraph, we learned about how modern technology is creating a physical gap between school students and society, and how in some countries there is a provision of service community. So let's write it down. So the first paragraph is about how modern technology is creating a physical gap between school students and society, and it also shows concern about the provision of service to community in some countries. What does the writer suggest at the end? So this is our third question. The answer reads, the writer suggests that the concerned authority must put forward the action including compulsory voluntary community works after school education to help individual student for his or her all-round development. The writer thinks these actions also support every community by producing employable and charitable human resources and must be implemented as soon as possible. So he suggests that these actions must be implemented as soon as possible. We have one more question left for today. So we need to make a list of logical connectors. So these can be few logical connectors, and this is what I found. In addition, furthermore, in conclusion, therefore, and likewise. We can actually add few more, like as we know, on the other hand, so you can actually complete this. And with this, we've come to the end of today's class. It was a really short one, and the homework is pretty easy. It's to find the main idea of the text. So the main idea of the text is to include students after school in some kind of compulsory voluntary community works in order to help their all-round development. And the entire essay revolves around what are the advantages of getting involved in compulsory voluntary community works. So that's the main idea of the text. And next question is to supply a suitable title for the essay. So you can supply your favorite title of the essay. If I were you, I would supply the title Compulsory Voluntary Community Works and its importance. But you can write anything to this, but it must be suitable. And with this, we've come to the end of today's class. If you have any questions, any suggestions, or anything that you wish to share with us, please feel free to write to us at learning@deobog.edu.np. Thanks for watching.